That's defense. You're trying to protect your face and stuff like that, you know.
Well, back in 2001, Kathleen Peterson was found dead at the bottom of her staircase by her husband, Michael Peterson. But police soon began to suspect it wasn't an accident.
Who would kill somebody and then repeat a crime in such a similar way and think they could get away with it?
I mean, it was easily this big. I mean, it wasn't a little bobcat or anything. It was large.
Kathleen Peterson did not die from falling down the stairs. She was not murdered by her husband. And she most certainly was not killed by an owl. Although there are many theories about what happened that day, the one I want to discuss in this video is one that I don't see on any website. I don't see any article discussing. So after watching both documentaries, I was intrigued, as I'm sure you were. So I decided to do my own research. What continuously emerged was a theory known as the owl theory, made famous because 3 owl feathers were found in Kathleen Peterson's head. The lacerations on her head sort of look like they could have come from the talons of an owl. And barred owls have been known to attack people. So I decided to contact my father, who is a professional hunter and who has been a professional hunter in Africa, in Zambia, his whole life. He has witnessed animal attacks. He has witnessed owl attacks. And so I figured that if anyone should know whether Kathleen Peterson was really killed by an owl or not, it should be him. So I sent him an email. And this is what I got back from him. So is it possible then that a big cat could have killed Kathleen Peterson on that day? After doing a bit more research, what I found was quite compelling. But before I get into that, I want to discuss a bit more on the owl theory. Is it really feasible that an owl could have caused those injuries?
Tonight was the first time in my life I've ever been attacked by an owl. I don't know if you can see on top of my head, I've got all these punctures from the talons that thing grabbed me. Get in the light here. That's for an owl. An owl got me.
It is infeasible. The talons are too small. The bird is not big enough to have caused such deep lacerations found on Kathleen Peterson. An owl takes individual swoops. It does not repeatedly attack its prey. This would have given Kathleen Peterson enough time to run away or to scream. So what evidence is there of big cats in North Carolina? The last wild big cat was a cougar 100 years ago. And today, the only big cat you'll find in North Carolina is a bobcat. But if you look at a bobcat, it's far too small. The paws are far too small. The animal is far too weak, far too elusive. The attacks are far too rare for it to have possibly been a bobcat. But this still doesn't mean, though, that there hasn't been reports of big cats in North Carolina. North Carolina was, and still is, one of only 4 states that allow the ownership for individuals of exotic animals such as lions, leopards, tigers, etc. And so if we consider that the Petersons lived in a wealthy area, being wealthy themselves, it is highly likely that someone in the local area had owned an expensive big cat. There are countless reports of big cats escaping zoos, escaping private homes, escaping conservation areas. So how does a big cat attack support the cause of Kathleen Peterson's death. The deep lacerations found on her head are certainly conducive of a big cat. The two major lacerations could have certainly come from the two front teeth. The smaller laceration found at the top from the top tooth. And the 5 lacerations could have come from the 5 claws of a big cat. Typically, when somebody is attacked by a big cat or any predatory animal, they raise their arms like this in order to protect their head. They crouch slightly in order to protect their vital organs, their heart. And so it certainly explains the lacerations that were found on Kathleen Peterson's forearms as she is covering her head as the big cat has tried to attack. The laceration found on her back are as a result of the paw overextending. The gashes found on her face are as a result of the claws as they have fallen. Owl feathers can be explained because prior to killing Kathleen Peterson, it is likely the big cat had killed an owl, therefore transferring the feathers onto her head. The hair that was found in both hands has come from the struggle of Kathleen Peterson as she has tried to take off the paws of the big cat. The time of the attack, 11 p.m, is certainly a great time for a big cat to attack. It remains elusive, it remains mysterious. And the large body of water at the Petersons' house enticed the big cat. So why is it then that this theory was not suggested at the time? Well, it took 3 hours for an investigator to show up. It then took 2 hours for any medical examiner to test the blood. And so by this time, any bacteria that would be found in the mouth of a big cat has died and cannot be recorded. This is also assuming that they even did look for bacteria. The autopsy report suggests that this wasn't the case. Kathleen Peterson did not die from falling down the stairs. She was not murdered by her husband, and she most certainly was not killed by an owl. Kathleen Peterson was mauled by a big cat that day.
Well, maybe it was a defense attack, you know. Maybe she spooked it. Maybe it was going up the steps or, you know, she just walked into it. But definitely, if you look at cats, they'll try and go for your head. So there was very deep scalp lacerations. And then a lot of those wounds on the arms and whatever, you know, that's defense. You're trying to protect your face and stuff like that, you know.